Hello and welcome to reaction video 2 for business law. The initial video was titled Why They Do It: Inside the Mind of the White-Collared Criminal. The video was set up as an interview between Nick Eppeli and Eugene Schultz. I hope I'm saying those last names right. Nick is the interviewer and Eugene is the interviewee. So Eugene first was asked about how he got into the role of interviewing executives that have committed white-collar crimes. And his personal interest started when he was watching a show and thought, how would a CEO answer that show about their crime if they were on TV? So he just wrote up 10 questions that came to his head and sent them to CEOs that had committed white-collar crime. A quote from the video that I found interesting was, "We often think about crime from the victim's perspective and not from a predator's perspective," which I guess makes sense. In white-collar crime, the victim it's a traumatic experience, the worst they possibly could have ever experienced, and they would think along the lines of, they must have been trying to harm me. While the perpetrator's perspective, it doesn't have emotion. It does not see their acts as criminal, and they don't see the harm. Mostly because white-collar crime does not have the intent purpose to harm someone. That's just a side effect, which almost makes it worse. Only recently has the white-collar crimes started to be prosecuted, and that is because back in the early 20th century, there was not as much regulation or moral outrage. One early case was in the 1960s, which was a price-fixing scandal. And the executives were going to be put into prison by the Attorney General. The defense attorney said, "You don't lock up executives where there are pimps and prostitutes," which is questionable of, well, they broke the law, so yes, you do. After the executives had gotten back from prison, they were hired back as if in the exact same positions as if nothing had ever happened. A couple of months later at Warren University, they took a poll of the students in the business program, and 70% of the students would not have fired the executives. Along with reaction video 5, no, not 5. I forget which one. But it was things that are done in the business world might be unethical, but they wouldn't be illegal. And they're working on more regulation to punish unethical behavior. a lot of times when the executives are looking at white-collar crime, what they are doing is they are trying to do welfare maximization, and a lot of times they either miscalculated the maximization or they just didn't, and it's just happened. So some of the reasons why white-collar crime might happen are the costs are very low, the benefits are high, and a lot of times the executives that are participating in white-collar crime, their reputation will protect them. The speaker, Eugene, also gave the tip of insider trading is highly monitored, and there is a high chance of you getting caught. Some of the executives that Eugene had interviewed said that they never thought about the cost, or they didn't think that they would get caught. And perception varies from one moment to another. So how to stop white-collar crime? You can either change the likelihood of getting caught or raise the punishment if they get caught. The main problem is the people that could fix this problem of white-collar crime don't have the resources to do it. And the executives don't experience remorse or regret for their actions. They more often have remorse for their personal losses than what they had put people through. The idea of what's the harm is an intellectual exercise and not an emotional one. When harm to the perpetrator is distant for them, it becomes abstract. Same with the ramifications of their actions. The regulators see harm differently, and possibly the worst part is the people in charge of stopping the crime would rather have it happen and get an easy case to prosecute than preventing it in the first place. Eugene also went on to tell a story of an executive that would, on paper, lie about how many assets the company had. But when it came time to tell a banker exactly why the funny numbers weren't adding up, he wasn't able to do it. He couldn't keep up the lie. When Eugene was visiting the white-collar criminals, he said, they will not harm you directly, but could rob you blind indirectly. Insider trading is defined as using confidential information that isn't available to the public for your own personal gain. The main goal, if doing a criminal act can have a goal, is to have better information than anyone else. And an interesting thing is where you are positioned and how you get information can either make it legal or insider trading. Eugene then went on to talk about, why is it that when we're in the classroom learning how to run a business, Why is it so easy to make the ethical choices in the classroom, but then when we're out in the workforce, it's so much harder? And a lot of times it's the reasoning of, this is my job to solve the problem or get this information, and I don't see what's wrong. So this has been a video reaction for business law.